Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and this is the new Mathews Title. Now, there's quite a delay on getting these, and I think I ordered a few, and this is one that's come in. So one bow's come in, and as I understand, there's a big wait to get them. So I want to show you the bow, and you may have seen them on other people's reviews and stuff. But this is my perspective. The title. The thing I find amazing with the title is the price difference between Australia and the US, and I've already done this in the video. The price on this bow now in Australia is 2,600 Australian. I think it's about the same price in America, in US dollars. So in US, the Australian dollar right now is 67.66 cents compared to the American dollar. So this bow is, I think, almost $800 cheaper in Australia than America when you convert it. I find that amazing. It's not the case for any other bows in the marketplace. It's just Mathews, and it's just this bow. So obviously Mathews, because some of the Mathews dealers, I'm like, why is this bow so cheap in Europe and Australia and so expensive in America? And they're like, we have no idea. It's just the way it is. So clearly that this bow has been marked up more in the US than in Europe and the rest of the world. So that's my view. Let's look at this. First thing, this paintwork is amazing. Love it. Now, there's a whole question here, and I'm going to do another video where I compare this red compared to the Bowtech red and the Hoyt red. This is a paint finish, and it reminds me of the Bowtech used to do. It looks like a chrome gloss. It looks amazing. And when I say the Bowtech used to do, they used to do a chrome finish, and it was amazing. This looks fantastic. I love it. Saying that, some people will say that some of the paint finish is probably not good enough. I think it looks spectacular. I think the bow looks spectacular. These limbs, I want to talk about this. These limbs start off thick and they go thin. So there's been bows which have done this before. PSC did it with a citation. I found the limbs very efficient like this, where they go sort of thinner as opposed to being the same thickness all around. The idea is it uses more of the limb to bend. I thought it added speed before with limbs I've seen like this. Now Mathews on the limb tips here, instead of going through the axle, they've got a little thing on the end which bolts on. Bowtech do this. Although it doesn't have the Bowtech tuning system, but this is really clever. So when people dry fire the bow, the limb doesn't break apart. Now Mathews in the past have had little clamp-ons to stop that breaking when the bow's dry fired. This looks really clever to me. Mathews has 8 limbs in this edition, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and obviously 4 down the bottom. Look, I don't know about the 4 limb thing. It's just meant to be wide, more stable. The bow weighed, we put it on a scale, it weighed 5.27. The published weight of this bow is 4.7. I'm guessing the difference is this weight down here. So the balance of the bow feels pretty good, a little bit top heavy. Look, the roller slide system here, I like. The reason why they angle it down is so it's in the middle of the string. It's clever. Little weights here, the little cams look fantastic. I think this bow looks fantastic. The grip, I've been critical of Mathews grips in the past, and you'd probably say I'm very critical on Mathews. I think Mathews have... And I was critical last year. So 2023, I probably said Mathews with the TRX, I probably called the flop of the year, and I know it's a good bow, but I probably called it flop of the year in my last review I've done. Look, I think Mathews have really kicked it out of the park with this bow. I haven't shot the bow. I haven't done a review on this bow. I just think the improvements and what they've done with this bow, they've kicked it out of the park. I think with the paint finish looking the way it does, the limb design improvements, this system here improvements, I think it's all really good, positive stuff, and it's a vast improvement of what we've seen in the past. I'm still going to say Mathews have a module-based system, which means if you want to change the draw length, the poundage, The let off, you've got to buy modules. The modules are going to cost you around $120. With other bows like Bowtech, Elite, PSE, and literally every single other bow company on the market, it's a rotating module. Now, a Mathews shooter is going to argue, well, it makes the bow more efficient, and I'm going to say, well, it's just because Mathews don't like PSE, and that's who you've got to pay the patent to for the rotating module, because those two are in court. That's my view. And look, I don't care what the answer is. It's just this is the Mathews module-based system versus the rotating module, which is what every other company uses. Hoyt, Elite, Mathews. Well, Mathews do have it on some of their bows, but not on this bow. On their cheaper bows, they've got a rotating module. Look, I like the weight down here. I think that makes sense. These big things here, the big stabilizer things, are fantastic. The grip. Now, Mathews in the past have had a few different grips. This grip feels like some of the other Mathews grips in the past. It feels more comfortable than some of the other grips which had like angled grips. The grip is rubberized, so it's sort of sticking in your hand, so your hand won't move around when you shoot. So if you're one of those shooters who wraps, grip around your hand because the grip's slidey, smooth, and your hand will move if it gets wet or it sweats. This is a rubberized grip that your hand doesn't want to move on. Saying all that, I think people will still rip this grip off and fit the Ultra Review grips and like your Tim grips, I'm going to say Tim Hammer grips to it, because I think they will want a grip that's more square and more rounded. This feels more like a Hoyt hunting grip. Mathews, this is what Mathews has done before. The 38 there is nice. Look, I'm really, really happy with this bow. Look, this is the bridge lock system here where your sight can go in and you can buy an adapter for your Accel sight, so you can use a system in here and then adapt your Accel sight to it. Look, what do you think of this? Seriously, I'm not a fan. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not a fan. There's the screw which screws into there. I'm not a fan, especially for target gear. I would prefer it just to bolt onto the side here, and that way you can take the side off. The stabilizer system for their bridge lock system screws in there, which is kind of interesting because then there's no extra screw. There's only one screw with the package, and I need two. I need one for the stabilizer and one for the side. I don't know how that works. That could be my ignorance. Look, I think the bow looks fantastic. How would I rate it in all the target bows? I think there's a whole bunch of good target bows on the market. In 2024, your Elites and your Bowtechs have got tunability on the cams, so you don't need a bow press. You can tune the bow if there's leans. I assume with this bow you've got to rip the axles off and move the shims to tune it. Okay, that won't be simple. The strings, they look like a gas freak show strings. They look like. And Mathews has said they have improved their quality of their strings. I don't know if that's Mathews saying their strings weren't good before, but they're saying they've improved them. Look, I'm just going to pick a point here. I'm hoping you can zoom in here, just there. This is probably me being picky. You can see they haven't, what's it called when you rub the string to make it all like one thing, that it hasn't been done there. So it's all rough. And when I say rough, it's not all being blemished in, where you rub the strands and make it all one fibre. It hasn't been done. You can see it hasn't been done down here. It hasn't been done here. It's pretty rough down here. Look, I'm going to try drawing the bow back. So while Mathews say they've improved their strings, I can see everyone replacing these strings, which is really unfortunate when you pay so much for a new bow. Let's just see. It's got a peep sight tie in here. Let's see if it twists. the peep did not twist at all on the drawback. It's drew back completely straight. Look, while these strands, you can see how rough they are at the end here, are not rubbed in to make it all nice and solid. Look, I think they'll be okay, and I don't think it'll affect your score. So I wouldn't be changing the strings, but I'm going to be critical of the strings. Okay, so if you're a Mathews student, you can hate me. Look, the draw, I wouldn't suggest drawing back the bow without fingers. The draw feels solid. It's a very short valley. This is a 60-pound bow, which is kind of interesting because there's no tags to say it's a 60-pound bow, and maybe that's on the module. So it's a 60-pound bow at 28.5, which is my draw length, my poundage. It's a very solid bow for 60 pounds. The draw cycle is similar to a Hoyt SVX. It's similar to your PSE M cam. So it's an aggressive draw cycle. So this bow will be relatively quick. So the bows that are smoother will be a HBT from Hoyt. Your Elite will be smoother, and especially if you fit the smooth modules to it, it's no comparison. Like the Elite at 60 pounds with smooth mods feels like 50. It feels like 50. This, I can feel it in the shoulders. I shoot 53 pounds with an Olympic recurve, and I feel like I can draw 60 pounds pretty smooth now. So this is very much like your fast, aggressive target bows. And when I say fast, aggressive, your SVX, your PSE dominators with the fast cams, that's what this feels like to draw. It's not a bad draw. I find it comfortable. It doesn't dump into the valley. I find it quite comfortable, but it is, you feel it in your shoulders. So my summary of the title, I think it's a massive improvement on Mathews. If I was a Mathews distributor, I would clearly buy one. No question. There's no question at all. In my mind, I would buy one. I think it looks amazing. I'm going to do a video where I compare it to the Bowtech and the Hoyt just to make my point. But I think it looks amazing. I think it will shoot really, really well. And I think for all the people who sold their cars to buy one, I think you'll be disappointed because your scores will not improve. Okay, I'm going to say it all the time. It gets back to the archer on how much you practice. It's how much you practice compared to for your scores. And one of my friends in America brought one of these, and I'm always going to remind him that he paid more for this bow than I paid for that car behind me, and that's got the same engine as a Corvette. And he paid more. It's got leather interior and an air conditioner. He paid more for his Mathews than I paid for that. So, but you know, he's retired, so he can afford it. I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Thanks for watching. Bye.